Welcome to our video, Why Some Countries Are Letting Criminals Run Their Tourism Industry. Today, we'll dive into the controversial relationship between criminal enterprises and the tourism sector in certain nations. As the demand for travel returns, some governments find themselves in a precarious position, balancing economic incentives and public safety, while corruption looms over decision-making processes. We will explore various aspects of this issue, from the rise of criminal organizations in popular tourist destinations to the complexities brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic and the use of technology. Join us as we uncover the intricate dynamics behind this troubling trend and its implications for the future of global tourism. 1. The rise of criminal enterprises in tourism. In recent years, criminal enterprises have found a fertile ground in the tourism industry of several countries. A lack of regulation and oversight has allowed these groups to infiltrate and, in some cases, dominate sectors of the tourism business. For example, in Mexico and parts of the Caribbean, drug cartels have extended their reach to tourism, providing services from transportation to entertainment. The United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC, notes that the global tourism market is valued at over $9 trillion, which is an enticing target for organized crime. The substantial profits generated by tourism make it a lucrative field for illegal operations. This situation is exacerbated by the absence of stringent regulatory frameworks, which offers a breeding ground for criminal activities. 2. Economic incentives for governments. Economic incentives often lead governments to overlook the encroachment of criminals into the tourism sector. In countries facing high unemployment and limited economic growth, the influx of tourism income can be a much-needed financial boost. Take Jamaica, for example, where the government has faced criticism for allowing gang-controlled neighborhoods to flourish as tourist hotspots. These areas contribute significantly to the economy, providing jobs and generating revenue. The World Bank reports that tourism can account for up to 30% of a country's GDP in some Caribbean nations, making it challenging for governments to impose strict regulations without risking economic backlash. 3. The role of corruption. Corruption is a crucial factor enabling criminals to operate freely within the tourism industry. In many nations, law enforcement and government officials are susceptible to bribery, leading them to ignore illegal activities. This corrupt environment allows criminal enterprises to thrive without fear of legal consequences. According to Transparency International's Corruption Perceptions Index, countries plagued by high levels of corruption often struggle to maintain a safe and regulated tourism environment. This exacerbates the problem, as law enforcement becomes complicit in the illegal operations they are supposed to curtail. 4. Tourist safety concerns. While criminal involvement in tourism can bring economic benefits, it raises serious safety concerns for tourists. Incidents of violence, theft, and exploitation can deter visitors, resulting in negative media coverage and diminished tourism. In regions controlled by gangs, tourists may find themselves in precarious situations, leading to a decline in tourist arrivals. The World Travel and Tourism Council notes that safety concerns can result in a 20% decrease in tourist numbers, significantly impacting local economies. Tourists are increasingly wary of destinations perceived as unsafe, which can have long-lasting effects on a country's reputation as a travel destination. 5. Case studies. Mexico and the Caribbean. Mexico serves as a notable example where criminal organizations have infiltrated the tourism industry. Despite increased violence linked to drug cartels, tourist hotspots like Cancun and Tulum remain popular. Similarly, in the Caribbean, certain islands have allowed criminal groups to manage aspects of tourism, creating a paradox where crime and tourism coexist. The Caribbean Tourism Organization reports that despite rising crime rates, tourist arrivals in some regions have continued to grow. This illustrates the complex relationship between crime and tourism, where the allure of beautiful destinations often outweighs safety concerns for many travelers. 6. The impact of COVID-19. The COVID-19 pandemic has further complicated the relationship between tourism and crime. With travel restrictions and lockdowns, many legitimate businesses struggled to survive, leading some to turn to criminal enterprises for financial support. This shift has allowed organized crime to gain a stronger foothold in the tourism sector. According to the International Air Transport Association, IATA, global air travel dropped by 66% in 2020, pushing businesses to the brink and creating opportunities for criminal groups to exploit the situation. The pandemic has highlighted the vulnerabilities within the tourism industry, making it easier for criminals to infiltrate. 7. The role of technology. Technology has also played a role in the intersection of crime and tourism. Criminal enterprises have adapted to the digital age, using social media and online platforms to promote their services. This makes it easier for tourists to unknowingly engage with criminal organizations. A study by the Pew Research Center found that 72% of adults use social media, making it a powerful tool for criminals to market their offerings. Tourists may be drawn to seemingly attractive deals without realizing the potential risks involved. The digital landscape has opened new avenues for criminal activity, complicating efforts to regulate and monitor tourism. 8. Government responses and regulation. In response to the growing influence of criminals in tourism, some governments have begun to implement stricter regulations. These measures include increased law enforcement presence in tourist areas and the establishment of tourism safety programs. The effectiveness of these measures varies widely. Colombia, for instance, has made significant strides in improving safety for tourists, leading to a resurgence in tourism. The Colombian Ministry of Commerce reports a 12% increase in tourist arrivals in 2022, attributed to improved safety measures. This demonstrates that with the right approach, governments can mitigate the impact of crime on tourism. 9. The future of tourism and crime. Looking ahead, the relationship between tourism and crime is likely to evolve. As countries continue to grapple with the impacts of organized crime, there may be a push for more sustainable and ethical tourism practices. This could involve greater collaboration between governments, law enforcement, and the tourism industry to create safer environments for travelers. The United Nations has emphasized the need for sustainable tourism development, which could help mitigate the influence of criminal enterprises. A focus on ethical tourism practices may pave the way for safer and more enjoyable travel experiences. 10. Conclusion. A complex relationship. In conclusion, the involvement of criminals in the tourism industry presents a complex challenge for countries around the world. While there are economic incentives for allowing such practices to continue, the safety and well-being of tourists must remain a priority. As governments and organizations work to address these issues, it is crucial to strike a balance between economic growth and public safety. The future of tourism will depend on the ability to create environments where both can coexist without compromising the integrity of the industry.